Want to try one more time?
I was gonna suggest that we do.
Oh, what do you?
Oh, I mean, mine was just it was a little off part.
Oh,
We're playing Pulp Cthulhu at 2.
we are.
Um, do you have your character ready if you're playing?
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna use Beauregard Figglestritz.
So what I was going to say is I have never played. I do enjoy that, and I'm very curious to see what the character is. That I've never played Pulp Cthulhu before, or Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu. I was going to see if you would be willing to run through a little background of the character sheet and
Yeah, I could
how
do
we
that.
make a character.
Let me see if I can find everything. It'll be a real shame
If you don't have the book,
if I don't have everything I need.
what do you
Because
need?
now I'm worried that would have been on one of my.
If you need the book, Cody sent me the book. So
Oh man, I have so many. Oh, I do have the Witch Hammer and the Mother of Darkness PDF. I should really look at these. These are the pre-made adventures for Simbaroon. So, how many? There's 1, 2, 3 acts and an aftermath. Interesting. I'll look into that later. I think it's in.
I just sent you a link to the Pulp Cthulhu book too,
Gotcha.
in case you needed it.
Nope, that's a character sheet.
And I'm about to send you the
Ring.
fill-in PDF from Chaosium.
Yep. Darn. Put it. I have to check.
Because I have a rough understanding of what I'm doing, but I thought it might be a good idea to go through some of it before we start, because then anyone who's watching would also be able to understand what we're doing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Let me check my
You check it, Neal.
drive.
You check it. I believe in you.
Oh yeah,
You are the lore keeper, after all.
I am. It's just all spread out across.
You keep your lore spread.
Well,
Can't keep it all in one place.
yeah. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Anybody. All right. Got Totality.
I'm very curious to see what everyone else is playing.
Was Bard Figgle.
Rest in peace, my sweet prince.
Oh, in the thing else. That's cover letters. Tennis roster from 2018. I coached that. Budget spreadsheet.
Are you within your budget? That's the real question. To those watching at home, if you have better budgeting technique than Neal, please contact him.
Well, it's more I just don't follow through with my technique as much as I should. The technique's good. Oh, God.
Flibble schlib. So for those watching, we're currently going about trying to create a character for Pulp
Yeah,
Cthulhu, which we will be playing at 2 p.m. today.
I
So you
guess I'm
should all
gonna
stick around for that.
have to
Um,
read it.
Neal has played this before. I have not. So he's going to assist me in helping me create my character. I've already done some of the groundwork for it. I've looked up what background or what job I want or occupation I want. Um, I've rolled their stat block. And I have their talents. I'm just looking for Neal to be able to help me with some of these more intricate things, I guess. Some of these little more um, things that are a little like the skill allocation and anything other
Is
like that.
skill allocations is very interesting because it just feels like you have tons of skills to throw everywhere, and that's
Um,
you have tons of points. Like um, alrighty. So here we'll use this.
Ibble dibble skibble did.
Boom. So now everybody at home can look on the book that I have here. Here's that. Got it. Pulp Cthulhu. Yep, that's the one.
Tis.
Uh,
I sent you another one that's you can. It's a downloadable PDF. That'll do the calculations for you too, if that's easier for you.
I'm pretty sure that's the one I have.
Okay.
Because I
I just wanted to make sure.
downloaded the whole thing off of from Chaosium, and one of them is calculate.
Yeah, that makes your life a little easier.
Sure.
Yeah, as someone who has not played this before, the auto fill in sheet was very
Oh
helpful.
yeah. So here I can try and careful manner. Um,
As to not reveal anything.
I mean, all that I'll end up revealing is like, my background. A lot of people enjoy it.
If you donate now, you can actually vote to change Neal's background.
Yeah, right.
Donate now if you want to change Neal's background.
That's it.
And if you're looking for quality tabletop role playing game content and merchandise, you can always check out www.tabletoptotality.com. And feel free to check out the Patreon as well.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. If you actually subscribe to streaming, you get in a stream loop. How now?
Neal is broken Twitch.
Oh yeah.
No, you're not. You're the Jort Lord.
Well, this
Oh,
is gonna be a little.
Cthulhu.
Gonna be a little.
Oh, yeah, I got you. To fit them both.
Nope, that just. That
You
way.
could slide it over so it overlaps that blank space on the screen a little to the middle of the next to table of contents because that's just going to be blank space, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
I wish you could go page by page instead of 2 pages at a time.
Well, I did page by page. I just need to.
Neal, while you set this up, if you could excuse me for a second while I let Oliver out.
Yeah, go ahead. Dude. Boom. All right, folks at home. Hopefully, you can see well enough. I'm gonna take a bite of this. Sandwich I got here. All right. Need to choose. Hmm. Anybody coming in now? We're just looking at getting ready to walk through what it's like to make a Pulp Cthulhu character. It's pretty fun time. Pulp Cthulhu is a little bit better. They're a little bit beefier as a character. Guys, you don't got much. Cult lead. There's 22 different archetypes. Each archetype can have different professions. Which, with all the different professions, they do impact things a little differently. Each one's a little special in its own way. So some of them will still have core characteristics of strength. But the skills is what's changing. Like, your adventurers, intelligence, sorry, no. Not adventurers, cold blooded people, intelligent. Your dreamers, OW power. Eggheads are your nerds. Explorers. I have an idea. That I do. We Sean Gianola to get back. We're taking to a animal. And you know what's also important? Make sure you may be coming in here to watch us, see what's going on, but remember, this is all for Extra Life. All of this is to help kids in need be able to get treatment. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they can afford it, but now they have the capability of being able to play video games, be able to, Build-A-Bear workshops they usually bring in. Stuff that, a lot of kids, like a lot of us growing up, took for granted. Well, guess what? Now you get to give back and make sure that every kid does get that. Granted, they're able to play board games. They're able to experience some joy, some fun. Maybe they get addicted to tabletop gaming like some of us. Ain't that right, Shawn?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right.
Make sure you donate $1, anything. Doesn't need to be a lot, but anything will help.
And while we're talking about it, I know if you go to the Patreon for Tabletop Totality, what is the Patreon tier called where you
Kurgan's Care Packages.
Yes.
So what we do with Kurgan Care Packages, if you maybe you don't want to donate to Extra Life, or you want to do more than just donate to Extra Life, if you sign up for Kurgan Care Packages through our Patreon, you can go to Patreon, look for Tabletop Totality, find us, see the Kurgan head, and what that does is, on top of getting all of the content we release at the $5 mark, we take that other $5, because it's a $10 tier, and we put that back into our program that we've kind of initiated of trying to reach out to impoverished areas. If it is, school trying to form a club for tabletop RPG, it's trying to reach out to kids. There was a person over and they were running an after school activity for a bunch of these kids in Philly that he would buy games, board games, tabletop RPGs, whatever it would be, supply these kids with these games, but it was a way to help feed kids who might not be getting meals every day. He sent them a couple of and that's what the Kurgan Care Package tier on Patreon helps for. So $5 goes to us just for all the content that we create, and then another $5 from us goes into buying books to send out, either sending out our own stuff and paying for the shipping of it, whatever it may be, to get these kids started. And it could be a board game, could be the player's rule book, dice, anything and everything that gets sent out to them to allow them to have a lot of fun. So that's another cool program that for sure worth checking out. And mind you, like we just dropped an adventure pretty recently. That's Terra and Portacala, four different adventures put together in one book. They don't so much have to go together, but they can if you wish, because they're all set in the same world, Drakuva. That is our setting. And it's all made for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition through their open gaming. So we do create a lot of our own monsters, creatures. We put for the mechanics of the game. And that adventure, we are asking $10, but if you are a patron, subscribe to us monthly at the $5 tier mark, you actually get access to that PDF and any other PDFs that we release just at $5. So sometimes it's worth it just to hang out and see what's going on and be able to get all the other content on top of that PDF, all the other PDFs previously. It's a great deal.
And I think one of the other things that you guys offer on your Patreon is the ability to be, what is it, the lore keepers. There's the, what is it, the $30 mark and the $15 mark.
Yep. So
15 gets you a what, an adventure?
So 15, we will custom make a like pretty much one session for you. It's like a 1 to 2 session thing, where we create that adventure or that quest line in your world. We ask you, hey, what type of things do you want? Who's your evil people? We'll get the feedback from you, get the information about your world, and then we will create something specific to your world just within our flavor. With those, unless you state that we can release otherwise, it goes directly to you. Chris and his brother Shawn both ended up donating on these tier levels, and they were both nice enough to allow us to release it on top of just getting it for themselves. So Forsaken Sepulchre, that we will actually be running later, is a dungeon, because that's the next tier up from the adventure, is creating a dungeon crawl. And so we just ask, hey, what are you looking for? What type of dungeon? What's the food? What's the vibe? Do you want a lot of traps? Do you want a lot of monsters? And then we formulate there. So Forsaken Sepulchre, which we will be playing later on tonight, is actually one of those adventures that we created, and Chris was nice enough to allow us to release that to everybody.
Is he there for that?
I
don't remember when he's playing tonight.
Yes, I believe.
And then for some of you that have been following Tabletop Totality, you may be aware of another one they've done. It's on their YouTube. You should check it out. It's a pretty fun time. It was Getry's Grimoire. Was the one that I worked with Cody to make, and it is based off of our characters from.
Oh man, those Troll Skull boys.
From
that was a fun one, yeah. Because we had played a bunch of us, me, Chris, Shawn, Cody, all played in a Waterdeep pre-made. We never
it was a dragon heist.
Yeah, we never made it to the end.
I mean, we kind of did.
We jumped around and somehow got to the end way before we were supposed to. Which happens. That's literally part of the fun of Dungeons and Dragons.
Your players are gonna break your game.
Yep. If you're not prepared, and even if you are, it'll happen.
Sure.
But yeah, so that was fun to make. That was really cool because we were able to, me and Cody pretty much were throwing in all these throwbacks to that whole that whole campaign, and all of our characters made it into that, make an appearance. Shawn's character is actually Getry. So that was his own character that we put in as a driving force and NPC for that adventure. My character was Nubin, the fence, and then
Chris was
Tim, and Cody was Vaxis.
Yeah, but I don't think, did they ever say that his name is Vaxis?
The corrupt city guard is Vaxis.
His coat smells of
burnt sewage. Yeah. Because there was a fire that broke out.
But he hadn't cleaned his coat.
We were running around in the sewers. Yeah, we were running around in the sewers. We found out Tim didn't have any boots. We were running in the sewers.
Well, to be fair, we found him flip-flops.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, man.
Oh, I agree.
It keeps your bottom coverage.
But
it just doesn't give you the top, man.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, so you can get all those. Those are we cycle it out once a month. Unless you're, the Gianolas and just say, no, we want you.
Take our money.
We want to give you this, don't worry. But they get special stuff.
We get to play in. We get to we
Yeah,
buy their
yeah,
time so that we can play
that's it.
our campaign.
That's it.
Chris and I have to pay on the Patreon so that we have time to play.
Yeah. It's a special deal. But anyway, Pulp
So if you want
Cthulhu.
to see our campaign destroyed,
Yeah.
give money to Patreon so they don't have time to play.
If that if you want us to destroy your campaign, I'll gladly come in. Send us an email. But yeah, so let's get ready here. We have a little bit less than an hour. We'll go through, get everybody who's in here ready. We'll make sure Shawn here is ready with a character for Pulp Cthulhu.
Sure.
So we're just gonna we really breeze through the first half of stuff because it really just overviews the system, yada yada yada. Nothing too crazy. We just want to get down to the brass tacks.
Yeah.
Brass tacks is
die in about an hour.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the beauty of Pulp Cthulhu. Character sheets are actually pretty simple. So like they expect you to kind of die. And if you do die, you can recreate your character. You can create a new character and be like right back in the mix. So,
see, I like the method of just naming your character Junior of whatever your previous character was, and not actually making a new character.
I mean, it works, but I found this is what I've been doing lately. With any game, any new tabletop RPG that I've been playing in, when it's at a easy level like this, you know what they do that makes it so nice? Usually they make it very easy to randomize your character off of just dice rolls.
Sure.
So the first character that I created through Pulp Cthulhu was Beauregard Figglestritz.
Sure.
He was a forest ranger in the Catskills.
Sounds about right.
He had.
Did you just name this character after yourself, or did you just make this character based off of yourself?
That was the running joke, but it all rolled that way.
So just for everyone who doesn't understand, Neal spends his days in nature.
Yeah, pretty much. I used to be a park ranger actually in the Catskills. Worked with a lot of forest rangers. My Beauregard Figglestritz is a big supporter of Teddy Roosevelt.
Sure.
Because that is where a lot of the forest rangers came from. He was a big proponent for the preservation of nature, and being able to keep it around, which is awesome. But Beauregard Figglestritz also had a black bear as its pet. So he was a forest ranger that protected the Catskills from cultists because cultists had actually stole his wife and his child and sacrificed them to an elder god. So he actually has a very interesting background of why now he just wanders around in the woods with a shotgun ready to go and his pet bear.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Trying to hunt down any cultist activity.
So this just sounds like the adventures of Neal and Cody.
In a way, because Cody's my black bear. But so the way that you go through, as you can see here, there's about 7 steps to creating a pulp hero, according to Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu version. Step 1 is you're choosing a pulp archetype. A pulp archetype will be the first thing we get into, and that pretty much is like an overview of what your character can do. It's focus characteristic. Is it strength? Is it dex? Is it intelligence? Is it POW? Anything like that. And then it'll break down, most of the characteristics of like that, what type of skills they would have, what's offered to them, how their skills are broken out, anything of that nature. It goes into a suggested list of occupations that play well with that, because like occupations are kind of, if I was going to relate it to like Dungeons and Dragons, you have your archetype, which is your broad stroke. So you're a fighter. Now your occupation is going to be that, Are you a battle master? Are you the Echo Knight? That type of thing. Because each one, as close as they are to the main class, they bring in other things where the other one would have different stuff. You generate your characteristics, so what your character looks like. A lot of that is random rules. It's better off that way. The random rule system for this, because that's kind of the way it's designed. Like, you could create any character you wished for, but in my opinion, like, to be able to roll that and be like, oh yeah, my appearance is all the way up here, but this is all the way, I'm small, so you're good looking, but you're a small individual, or you're a huge oaf of a person, or you're immaculately average. So those are all the aspects. So, and then, as I said, step 4, that's when they tell you to go into your occupation. Step 5 is you decide your skill and point allocation for your skills. So the way skills will work in this is it's a percent roll from 0 out of 100. The higher you have the skill level, so like if you had a charm of 60, you would now, anything 60 or below, you would succeed at. If it's 60 or higher, you fail. And there is degrees of success. There's hard successes, there's just regular successes, and that's like if you got a critical or things of that nature. Of course, create your backstory and then round out your hero. It is the last step. So there is, on this next page, on page 16, there's these are all of the pulp archetypes. So you have an adventurer, beefcake, bon vivant, a cold-blooded, a dreamer, egghead explorer, femme fatale, grease monkey, hard-boiled, harlequin, hunter, mystic, outsider, rogue, scholar, seeker, sidekick, steadfast, swashbuckler, thrill seeker, two-fisted. All of those pretty much just dictate, what's your core characteristic, how many. So you usually get 100 bonus points, and you divide those among all of your skills, and then it gives you what skills you can choose. It gives you a suggested occupation for that. So if we're looking at the beefcake here, the core characteristic strength, you can choose from climb, fighting, brawling, specific, intimidate, listen, mechanical repair, psychology, swim, throw, and then your suggested occupations is athlete, beat cop, bounty hunter, boxer, entertainer, gangster, hired muscle, hobo, a laborer, a mechanic, a sailor, a soldier, a street punk, and a tribe member. And then there's 2 talents, which there's a talent table later on, and then you get a suggested form of traits from domineering, brash, quiet, soft-centered, slow to anger, and quick to anger. To help you roll out all of your character stuff. In a way, what I like to do, at least on my own, is I'll count up how many archetypes there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. So that's a hard one to randomize, except for when you take the idea that maybe 20 is going to give us. So what are you going to do? This is what I'm going to do, at least. Because I'm just going to make somebody random. Somebody out of this world to handle the dangerous elder gods and the wrath that they can bring upon us. So what I'm going to do is we're going to roll d20. That is going to dictate where from 1 to 20 I land. And then I am going to have a d4 that either is going to be 1 is 21, 2 is 22, 3 is just a straight 20, and 4 is the reroll. So we're going to roll that all together. So all together, it's 14 plus 1. So that will be a nice 15, which gets us from 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. So I am going to make some form of a rogue. Do you have any questions so far, Shawn?
I mean, so far I have followed along roughly,
Good.
and I am making a grease monkey.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you're going Grease Monkey?
Mm-hmm.
Grease Monkey. There's Grease Monkey.
Go back a page.
Where's the image for?
Right there.
There it is. So yeah, your core stat is going to be core characteristic is going to be intelligence. Intelligence.
There you go, grease monkey.
I think it comes later. But yeah, you're going to be a grease monkey. So you know where to find that. It's page 19. I'm going to be a rogue. So either Dex or Parent, huh? I think we're gonna make Dex stuff. I guess. So what I do here is I at least know usually keep some form of book, paper, what have you, handy nearby. And write down in here that I at least have 100 bonus for my skills. This way I just don't have to go back here. And then I'll go through here and I'll check mark all the skills that I get through my archetype. So I get appraisal, get art craft, any charm, skies, fast talk, law, locksmith, psychology, and read lips, and spot hidden. So if you look at these skills, you will see percentages in a parenthesis. That's just your regular percentage in there. If you I want to say if you have it, but we'll double check as we go through. So without putting any points in, I already have a 15% success rate in charm. That's without adding any additional 100. Same thing with like spot hidden. I already have a 25%. So that's pretty cool. Suggested occupations: artist, bank robber, cat burglar, confident trickster, dilettante. Somebody just messaged me. Sorry about that, folks. Entertainer, gambler, getaway driver, spy, student. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Well, that looks like a job for a D10. And what we are gonna do is that is an 8, so we are a getaway driver. So my occupation is way. Driver.
Okay. I am now a mechanic.
There you go. Are you doing a similar approach to me?
I am. I'm following along with what you're doing, and then
Definitely,
just
you know.
essentially doing it for Grease Monkey.
Yeah. So talents, you get any two, which we will look at later. I just wanna, so we'll write down any two talents, and then suggested traits: charming, disarming, self-absorbed, crafty, shrewd, scheming. One. Say, get one of those bad boys. I rolled a 6. Oh, I'm gonna be. Always gonna be scheming. Traits. Actually, I think you can take more than those. So we may have to come back to that. But at least for right now, I'm scheming. Ballpark. So now that's about it for that. Step 2, we're generating characteristics, baby. So you get to use the following rules to determine each of your characteristics throughout substituting, sorry, I can't freaking speak. A roll of 1d6 plus 13 multiplied by 5 for the hero's core characteristics as determined by the archetype. Choose step 1. So what we're gonna do, so for whatever your top characteristic was, we are instead going to roll a 1d6 for that. So mine is, I think I'm gonna go, do I want to be good looking or dexterous? You know what?
Dexterous.
Why am I? No, we gotta follow the system that we put in place, folks. We let the dice gods decide. So I think what we'll do is odd, dexterous, even its appearance. Sound good?
Sure.
It is odd. We are going to be dexterous with a chance of looking good. We'll see what the dice want to give us. So we roll 1d6. I've rolled holy shit. That's good. I rolled a 6. So 6 plus 13 gives me an 18 times 5 is a number that I should be able to do, but I'm almost out of sleep.
Say that again. What's the number?
Don't worry. I got a 90. I got the highest score you can get. So pretty much I ended up rolling so the 90, if I get anywhere from a 90 to a 45, it's a success. A 45 to an 18 is a strong success, I want to say, and then it's an 18 to a 1 is a extreme success. Which each have different levels of things, but we'll get into that later. So now we're gonna go through this chart, and sorry, not the chart, the dots here that tell us what we need to roll, skipping over whatever our main characteristic is. So for me, I'm still gonna roll the strength one, but I believe for you, Shawn, what was yours? Yours is
My core is intelligence.
Intelligence. So intelligence, you won't worry about rolling because that's the one you subbed out. Let's roll up for all the rest of them. Here.
I have rolled.
Already ahead of me. See what happens. They tell you, hey, explain this for me. And they're already just flying ahead. All right.
That's just because you do such an amazing job explaining it, Neal.
Yes. 12. So my strength is a 60. Not terrible. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not great.
What, your strength?
Con.
What is your con?
I pulled a 40 for my con.
Sorry, my con's a 50, so.
So, all right. So now I'm doing my size, which is 2d6 plus 6. Let's see what this gets us. 6 plus 6
12
equals 12
times 5 is 60.
times 5, 60. So we're above average in size.
What is average? 50?
We're nothing crazy. Yep. So average will always be 50. So I skip over dexterity. Now it's appearance. Let's see how well we do here. So 3d6 multiplied by 5. Ooh, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. So I got 14 times 5. That's really easy math. That's a 70. There's that. So appearance is set. Now we're doing intelligence. So 2d6. Oh. 2d6. So I got a 10, 16, which is times by 5. That's an 80. Wow. My character's coming along pretty well here.
Tell me, I think you just. Are you actually rolling dice? Or are you just making up
I'm
numbers?
rolling them. Yeah, I'm just making the clickety clack noise with my mouth.
Yeah, with your mouth.
Yeah, I'm really good at throwing my voice.
So
All right.
Neal is just. Who was it? Michael Winslow from Police Academy?
Yeah, yes. That's it. You just give me a bullhorn, I'll make any noise you need. So yep, we're doing my pal 3d6. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. That's a 5. That's a 4. That's a 4. You get a solid 13. Times 5.
65.
Yep, we get a nice 65 in there. Not terrible, not terrible. And then let's see how educated I am. 2d6 plus 6. Fuck.
One double ones.
No, it could have been worse. It's double 2s. Plus 6 times 5. I'm an average intelligence.
What is your intelligence?
50.
Oh my god.
Average intelligence. So we got one score below average. The con's probably gonna hurt me here. Everything else isn't terrible. Isn't terrible.
How did you calculate appearance again? What's appearance's calculation?
Appearance is 3d6 multiplied by 5. So I rolled pretty well on that. I rolled pretty well on my intelligence, my dex, and my appearance. Everything else.
So here are the characteristics that I rolled. My strength is 75.
Nice.
My con is 60.
Mm-hmm.
My size is 55.
Okay.
My dex is 60. My appearance is 60. My education is 85. My intelligence is 90. And my power is 55.
All right, not bad. You're very educated. Very educated. You got that intelligence. So we've written everything down there. It's divided itself for us. At a half of the percentage and then a fifth of the percentage.
Fifth of the percentage.
Yep. So
now, if you haven't played this before, I will say the rule book for it does a really good job of explaining the half percentages and fifth percentages.
Yes, it does. It does a good job. So damage bonuses here, strength and size. If you add those together, so my size is 60 plus 60. I have a 120. So I do not get a damage bonus. I'm not that beefcake.
Where is this?
Oh, you see the table 1 damage bonus and build?
Yes. Oh, I got
So
you. Okay.
there. What?
Strength and size.
Add an additional 1d6 to damage bonus plus 1. Oh, okay. I see what it's saying. Yeah.
Strength 75. So I am just within that.
You're 85 to 124.
75 and 60. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. So there's that. They do have a chart on page 43 for the half and fifth values. So I'm now choosing an age between 15 and 90.
You're gonna roll a D100.
I think so. I'm pretty much gonna roll a D100. If I'm outside of bounds, I'm gonna roll it again. I rolled 100, so that is outside of the
I would
bounds.
say that's outside of the bounds.
32.
It's funny. I rolled 35.
I will be 32. Well seasoned.
Thick.
Now we're determining other attributes. So for luck, you roll 2d6 plus 6. Pretty fucking. All right, I'll take
2d6 plus 6.
3
6,
plus 6
6, 12
times
18.
5. 65. Luck total is 65.
What do the luck points do?
We'll cover that.
Okay.
You kind of use them to spread the gap. In case there's something you succeed on or something.
Sure.
Sanity points. Your sanity is equal to your POW. So it's actually already wrote in here. 65, 99 size character. Your HP is adding your con and size together, then dividing the total by 5 rounded down. So my size and con added together and divided by 5 rounded down is 20. So my hit point total is 20. And then your magic points equal 1/5 of your POW. Mine would be 13. 1/5, 65. My damage bonus and build, add strength and everything. That's what table 1 is, and add it to.
I believe it did.
This section right there. By the combat is what.
Yes, it does that.
It's none and 0.
I have a D4 plus 1.
Yeah, so you actually were a size category above me.
Thick.
Bigger.
To be fair, I'm currently picturing Clarence Brooks as Mario.
That's good. Movement rate. Your movement is compared dex, strength, and size as per table 2, which is right underneath. So pretty much it's, if both your dex and your size are each less than your, dex and strength are each less than your size, you'll move at a 7. If your either strength or dex is equal to or greater than your size, or if all 3 are equal, your movement is an 8. And then if both your strength and your dex are greater than your size, your movement is 9. My movement is because my strength and my size
Your boy got a 9.
equal, but my dex is higher. So yeah, so your strength and dex is higher than your size. All right.
Yep.
That's pretty much all of that filled out. Gotta get a better name.
What name did you end up going with?
I have not chosen one yet. I have not chosen one. We'll find it eventually. All right. So the way this works is there are 4 tables of pulp talents. Either choose 2 talents from any of the tables or roll 4 talents randomly. The tables are themed for physical combat, mental, or miscellaneous talents. Sorry, I said physical combat kind of together. There was a parenthesis. If decided randomly, we're just gonna roll a d4 to determine what table I am on. So remember, we get any 2 talents. So I'm gonna roll 1d4. First one is a 2, so I'm going to the mental for one of them. Next one is a 4, so we're going to the miscellaneous. Double M's for days, baby. Double M's for days. All right. So we're gonna go down on that.
I'll say, are you also gonna roll for these?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go to that table and look at that. They tell me exactly what I have to roll. So for my mental table, I'm gonna roll a d10. Shaplow. Shaploosh. So I am gonna be strong-willed. I gain a bonus die when making POW rolls.
Hey now.
Roll down here. We're gonna look at talents, and we're gonna say strong-willed. Bonus die on POW. All right. So there's that one. So we got that. Now we're gonna go to next table over the miscellaneous. This is where things get interesting.
I'll say this is the fun table. This is where I pulled both of my traits off of. My talents.
And we're gonna roll that d10. It's gonna go down. We got a 6. I got Shadow. Reduce the difficulty by 1 level or gain bonus die at the keeper's discretion to stealth rolls. And if currently unseen, is able to make 2 surprise attacks before their location is discovered. I am a scheming, driving son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So Shadow, Deuce, difficulty 1. That's not
Stealth.
If in sure price. I think I can. Yep, I can still read that. All right, so those are the tables. Now, where you would normally determine your occupation. I'm a fun guy. I've already decided my occupation.
What?
Yeah, I'm a getaway driver because I've rolled for that. So I'm gonna go all the way to the G's. You also there's some pretty cool ones. Like you could be a hooker. About
Why
it.
is that the one you pointed out?
You could be a federal agent, an elected official. You'd be a gangster boss, an exorcist. They're all pretty cool. Let's go. Oh, sorry, I went too far. But there's the zealot. You know, you can be a street punk. See, there's the ranger. That's what good old. Damn,
Flibador Slibbleton.
no, it was Bagel
Fancy
Strips.
bottom fizzle bizzles.
Beauregard Figglestritz. Name. So I chose the getaway driver. So my occupation skill points. So remember, we have our 100 bonus points still, but then we also get our occupation skill points, which is either education ×2 plus either dex ×2 or strength ×2. You get to choose that for at least mine.
Mine is education ×4.
There you go. So my education ×2, easy hundo, plus my dex ×2, easy 180, giving me an easy 280 just from that. Boom. My credit rating is a 9 to a 20. I'll have to double check if I actually have to. I think check exactly if that's supposed to be a range. I believe it is supposed to be that big of a range. 9 to 20 is not it's not terrible. I can get some shit.
You're working.
Suggested contacts: customers, businesses, law enforcement, and general street level life.
While Neal reads this, I would just like to thank everyone that's stuck with us through this. We really can't thank you enough for the support. And just a reminder, check out Extra Life. Donate if you can. And if you're looking for tabletop content, check out tabletoptotality.com.
Spending level.
Is that the 9 to 20?
Credit rating.
Okay, so mine is 9 to 40.
Double check that. At least it's there. Suggested contacts. I want to say that goes. We're going to hold off on that. And then, again, it gives you skills. All of these, you get to, I would just go through and hit check mark again. Because pretty much what it is you can spend your skill points straight for anything that is a learned skill, or there is a conversion rate for how many points it is per point of an unlearned skill.
Gotcha.
So, oh man, I can count now. I got some accounting. I can drive auto. I can listen.
Can you listen?
I got my character can.
There you go.
One interperson skill: charm, which I already have; fast talk, pretty sure I already have; intimidate or persuasion. I don't think we're gonna go intimidate. My appeal's pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna go persuasion. Mechanical repair. Give me some of that. Navigate. You gotta know how to navigate if you're gonna be a driver. Got psychology and any one other skill as personal or era specialty. I don't know. So I'll have to double check that. Gotta figure out which ones are personal. Okay. So that's those. Okay. Decide skill points and allocate skill points. So after you have chosen an occupation, calculate your occupation skill points, blah, 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 blah. Not all skills need to have points allotted to them. However, any unused points are lost. Note that each skill has a number in brackets next to it on the Pulp Hero sheet. This is the base chance of success in that skill. Any points allocated to that skill are added to the base number. There's no cap on the number of points that can be invested into a skill, although players are advised that a hero with a variety of skills in 40% to 80% range, rather than possessing only 3 or 4 skills at 90% to 100 plus. The reason why is because you're going to be using a lot of skills. There is no real jack of all trades. Is not a master of one, but a jack of all trades is better than a master of none.
Sure.
So in this, it is better to kind of diversify. So you're gonna kind of go through, make that stuff, go through, decide which of the skills listed under the chosen archetype you used to allocate the bonus points to. Some of the archetypes still may be the same as the ones listed under the chosen occupations. Decide whether to bolster such skills or round out the hero further by electing to use the bonus points for non-occupational skills. Archetype bonuses, bonus skills points cannot be used for skills not listed under the archetype level. And if finally calculated or lost, note if your hero has a whatever skill. What's up, Cody?
What
Cody?
up?
Is that Cody?
Yeah, he's here.
It's me.
What's up, Quans? We're discussing how to make a character in Call of Cthulhu or in Pulp Cthulhu.
Word.
We just wanted to make sure our audience was educated towards how to make a character for the game we're about to play.
What's up, chat?
They were
Joe.
demanding you.
They were.
There was a lot of people like, "Where the heck's Cody?"
Where is that fool?
We had a whole discussion.
You have your personal interests, so multiply your hero's intelligence by 2 and allocate the results as points to any skill. Oh, what's up, baby? Which can either include, adding further points to an occupational scale, but, is what it is. Your credit rating is determined, of course, by your shimadong occupation. Available on hand as well as their assets and general living. Hero's credit rating skill begins at 0. The range of starting levels for each occupation can be broad, and the level chosen should reflect the hero's rank in the occupation. For example, a criminal could be a poor lone pickpocket, credit rating 9, or for a wealthy gang boss, credit rating 90. Any number of skill points can be invested in credit rating within the recommended limits of the occupation. So you get to kind of choose if that's like the 90, like mine's 90 to 20, yours is, up to 40.
Say that one more time.
So you get to, for your credit rating, it's the whole aspects of what that occupation can hold.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Poor criminal like a pickpocket would have a 9, while a wealthy gang boss would have a 9.
Good thing I'm a working class mechanic.
And then this goes, here's your living standards. 0's penniless, 1 to 9's poor, 10 to 49's average, 50 to 89's wealthy, 90 plus is rich, 99 plus is super rich.
Neal, are you playing
rich?
Neal, are you playing Figgle Strips?
I don't know where my character sheet for Figgle Strips is.
Okay.
So I've actually started making a new character.
Nice.
And that new character.
Frank,
what's up, Frank?
Hello.
Where's my Kool-Aid, Frank?
Red. It's red, Frank.
Oh, Frank and Amber, hello.
Amberlin!
They're deaf. They can't hear us.
They can't hear us. Oh no.
What if you're mute and they're not deaf?
I mean, you answered me, so.
Ah! Tess, do you hear me?
I hear
Yeah.
you. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's Steve? Is he playing with us or no?
No, Steve's
Fell
sleeping.
asleep. So we
I
sent him
figured.
away.
Steve was snoozing.
It's essentially just been me and Neal for the last 4 hours.
Excellent.
We've been playing games. We've been keeping it interesting.
We've been plugging Tabletop Totality and Extra Life things.
Mm-hmm. I plug Simbaroom a lot.
And his OnlyFans.
I did.
Steve's OnlyFans or you?
Steve's
Neil's
mine.
OnlyFans?
No, Neal's.
Oh, all right. Because in Steve's OnlyFans, that dude gets fucking attacked.
The dark place.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
just gonna roll this personal descriptor here. For Shawn. We're keeping it random. We're keeping it, you know.
Let the dice decide, you know.
Yep.
Oh, I'm hardy.
Got an 11.
You're a hardy boy.
You're flashy.
Hold on, there needs to be a whole nother level of decision making. I'm female.
I would say you still haven't said anything about your character.
I
other than
just
its
decided
stats.
that through a D4. So
Sure.
it is dainty. I need to think. I'm a getaway drive car person.
You are a car.
Yes.
You're driving Miss Daisy.
You're a leadfoot.
I didn't.
Let's just call you Miss Daisy.
5.
You gotta have faith, brother.
Have faith, brother. That is my.
You're Macho Man
Yeah.
Randy Savage.
I look up. My biggest idol is Monster Man Randy Savage.
Nice. I love it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Are you guys in the process?
Oh,
What'd you say?
You guys hear me?
I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Are you guys in the process? Are you doing traits right now? Just figuring everything out?
I'm walking Shaunimal through. We've gotten through a good chunk of things. Oh no.
I think we're on step 5 or 6.
Yeah. So we'll still have to go back through and do the hero skill stuff, but I'm trying to get my backstory all set because then it'll speak to what I'm really good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the only thing we're missing is traits and talents and all that jazz. So when you get there,
Yeah. We had just finished that.
oh, you did?
Yes.
You have a PDF for that? We can work on those over here.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on.
I think I have some links.
I sent the PDF
Yeah, I
in
got
the
it.
book that you sent me, Cody.
Word.
Yeah, it's in. So if you go into the Extra Life Game Day chat on Discord, what
Okay.
Red Lantern 95 shared, that is actually the PDF.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay. You gotta have faith, brother.
I have faith, brother. Significant people, and who are they? Let's find out. 9.
Oh God. Your friend Cody. It's very-
A fellow hero in your game. Pick one or choose
Yeah.
one. All right.
Yay.
So,
Is it me?
how many
Is it
people do
me?
we have? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4. 4 other heroes. That makes it easy. So Frank, you're gonna be number 1. Amber's number 2. Shaunimal's number 3. Robert, you're number 4.
You got it.
Amber, you are who I look up to as a person. You are my significant people.
What's a old person's name? Male.
Bartholomew.
Oh, that's a good one.
Old Barty.
So now I need to roll to determine why this person is significant.
Yeah, why are they?
I don't know. 8.
Why?
I have a feeling of regret.
Why?
Wow.
So I'll have to figure that out.
Not bad at all.
I have a feeling of regret, and that's why they're my significant person.
He has a feeling of regret because he viewed Steve's OnlyFans. He was not prepared for the ultra violence.
That's my ad.
Why did I put dainty as my sex?
Because that's what it is, man. You like dainty sex.
That's what you're into, I guess. Yeah.
I guess. Who knew? Oh no, it
Whatever
just transformed back to dainty. All right.
Whatever floats your boat.
So I'll have to figure that out.
Okay. Well, I can't figure that one out.
I sent the links to Frank and Robert.
A bonus dice.
If that helps.
So we're now doing
It does,
treasured possession.
but I can't download them. They just stay as links.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh well.
I unfortunately don't have that problem. I have the hardcover books here in front of me.
Well then.
Well,
had the disposable income of a.
So, my treasured possession is a weapon.
Mine's a gun.
I don't know what the weapon's gonna be.
It's not a weapon though. It's a prop gun. It's not real.
It's a big gun. It's a water gun.
Prop guns are out here killing people.
Yeah,
Let's keep
I was
that in
gonna
mind.
say, I don't know.
That wasn't a prop gun. That was a real gun.
Nah, it was a prop gun, man.
It was a real gun. They don't.
I think prop guns. The only thing about prop guns is that it just fires a blank, and this was.
That's if it's loaded with a blank. Yeah.
Right. This is a prop gun that was loaded with a live round. So.
Real gun.
Yeah, it's a real gun at that point.
Oh. It is what it's designed for. It's prop gun.
To be a gun.
All right, so I got to figure out some weapon that is special to me.
I know.
The last time we played with Justin, his he loved his wrench, his pipe wrench. He was like
say hi.
Oh, what's up, baby?
I know.
Oh, what's up?
Just like, can you put me down?
What's up,
like
Pupper?
You want to see your butthole? No, just
Nice.
Steve's
good
OnlyFans.
girl. Nova's
Steve.
OnlyFans.
All right, so I already have that.
Poor Steven.
Weeb.
Poor silly
Wasn't
little
Stevie, he'd be here to
Stevie.
defend himself. So
All right, so
Well,
He did not do a good job defending himself last night in Simba Room.
that's on him.
Yeah.
all right. I feel like I'm missing something.
What page is the character sheet on?
I don't know. I just downloaded it.
I also downloaded it.
If you go to Chaosium's website, download.
And it autofills.
Sorry for everybody, all of our viewers.
That's just a running thing we've had to say so far today. Just apologizing to
I'm going to be apologizing a lot today.
Yes, you are. And I got.
Well, it wants me to buy it.
Scroll down. There's free PDFs at the bottom.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
can't I
so you
find my
guys
phone?
at home, it's important. You should always support your, the game creators and pick up books, not
Up
for free.
books.
Sometimes, though, in the name of tabletop gaming, you have to.
So what did I say? I had a 9 through 20. 15. That's my wealth. It's average.
Speaking of free games, we have several free adventures.
Fearless, aggressive, and impulsive.
Drive through RPG.
Sounds like.
Okay, so I can spend $10.
That's not a lot, man. You better start making bologna sandwiches.
Dude, in the 1930s?
Oh, $10 is a lot in the 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
CR credit rating, so 15 times 2, 30.
40. 80. Assets. What's
Fast
4,700?
My cash there, and then my assets is gonna
Our assets.
buy
How do I use them in game?
assets. Flaunt them.
Okay. I'm essentially just going to throw money at Cody.
750.
It's what I do in real life too. So.
That's what he does
Indeed.
in Simber.
Hey, if it works.
Does it?
Damocles is pretty successful.
All right.
I mean, he's kind of, he's got his things that he does, and he does them well.
Did I miss a thing? Am I not supposed to? Meaningful.
So what is everybody's character?
Mine's completely randomized with
Nice.
the aspect of my archetype as a rogue, and I'm a getaway driver. I'm a 32-year-old female.
Did you figure out a name yet?
No, I am nameless. Gotta figure that out.
Daisy Elizabeth.
I am.
Yeah,
nameless.
I'm telling you, go with Daisy, man. You driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because I'm the getaway driver. Miss
Yeah, so
Daisy
you
is
drive
driving
yourself,
you.
man.
Drive yourself.
All you have to do is get away.
It's driving you.
You're notorious for just getting yourself away and leaving everybody else behind.
Never been caught.
Terrible getaway driver.
No, it depends which way. Depends which way you look at it.
She's a pretty good getaway driver because all she's doing is getting away from her problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna rob a bank? As soon as you drop everybody off, you just leave.
Yeah. Good luck in there.
Let everybody
It's
out.
a fucking van!
Total misconception of what a getaway.
Oh shoot, you could be a beefcake? That's pretty sweet.
Oh, do it for the chunks.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it for the chunks. I think I'm gonna do that. Beefcake Mystic.
Do it
Can I
for
do
the
both?
ladies.
Can I do both of those? Can I be a Beefcake Mystic? Anybody watch Doom Patrol?
Yes.
So the guy Flex Mentallo, I could just be him, Beefcake Mystic.
I fully support that.
Yeah, we just caught up to where they're at currently last night, and we finished season 3 of Titans last night as well, which is awesome if you haven't watched it.
I haven't watched Titans. I was skeptical of that one, but I really love Doom Patrol, so
yeah.
I haven't seen we haven't watched the most recent episode yet.
They're all insane. I love it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love how crazy it is. Guys, if you haven't watched it, let's just say the climax of the first season is a giant cockroach and rat getting it on. Just saying.
Raising money for children's hospitals.
If you're low and you work for HBO, hit us up with that sponsorship deal.
Yeah, what's up, HBO?
Just a sponsorship.
You want me to tell you how to fix Game of Thrones?
Don't listen to George R. R. Martin.
I say
Yeah.
it's just Cody pretending to be George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, that asshole is never gonna write the books, so might as well hand it over.
Cody, can we? I think if you dressed up as George R. R. Martin,
Oh
I
yeah,
think I can pull it off.
we could substitute you for him.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We throw the real one into a van somewhere. Getaway driver takes him away. Daisy
Yeah.
drives him,
Yeah.
and then we just push Cody out of the van,
Hmm.
and now he's George R. R. Martin.
Right, and they're like, "Oh my God, George, you gonna write another show?" And I'm like, "Ah, yeah, sure."
You know, I could just change the mantle of the Dread Pirate Roberts. It'll just be changing the mantle of the George R. R. Martin.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, I think that's his only option at this point.
Yeah. Go out with some dignity, George.
Have some respect for yourself.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that friggin' book for like 10 years. You jerk.
I think you're gonna be waiting about 10 more.
You
So-
made your money off of HBO, and now you're not gonna write anymore.
And now he just like goes to like random sporting events.
Nah,
Yeah,
we
he
ain't
updates
tired
his
of you.
blog like every day.
He was at like a Jets game. He's like, this is what you do instead of finishing the books.
Yeah, he writes in his blog like every day, and the blog's like pages and pages long like every day. And I'm like, you should just be writing in your book instead.
Like, you
That's
know,
what
there's some
Frank tells
publicists
me.
out there that's just like having a panic attack.
Yeah. Frank's always like,
Even
stop working
bro?
on your business. Just write your novel.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Okay, so Neal's a rogue.
Sure.
Me too, technically.
Frank's
Dorothy.
also a rogue.
Unsurprising. I've played one game with Frank, and this is unsurprising that his character's a rogue.
Hmm.
He was also a rogue in Simbarum, technically.
Aw, Yontu, our rogue ogre.
He is still like out there somewhere.
I know. He's like Bill the Pony,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? We cut him loose, but he's
he
still
might
out
actually
there.
be like the Tom Bombaldi of Simbarum, like just
Tom
like
Bombaldi?
yeah.
Wait, who the hell is Tom Bombaldi?
I don't know who Tom.
You mean
Baldy
Tom
is.
Bombadil?
Old Tim.
That's it, Bombadil. Yeah, whatever.
Tim
Bombaldi.
I'm out. I'm for these reasons. For
Tom
these heinous,
Bombaldi.
these heinous
That's what I mean.
crimes.
He's not real Tom. He's not real Tom Bombadil. He's Tom Bombaldi.
Tom Bombaldi speaks the third most Italian.
Right.
The
Coco.
Yeah.
Nemo's in chat asking y'all tired question.
No,
No.
I answered,
How
but
old is that?
it's not. She asked it also last time.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that maybe an old part of the chat?
A lot's happened since you left, Robert.
Running
I know.
on empty.
Nah, Frank's a liar. He doesn't know what tired is.
He ain't never been tired in his life.
So far, the only one who has not slept is myself.
What's the dreamer archetype?
I don't know, man.
Dream
So- My name, I've decided on it, is Dorothy Margaret Daisy.
Sure.
Dorothy
That-
Mantooth is a
That
saint.
couldn't be more.
So DMD.
Dorothy Mantooth Daisy.
That's definitely not the name I said, but
Daisy Mantooth. Got it.
Daisy Mantooth.
Mantooth.
Dorothy Mantooth.
So
You
I
leave the
am
mothers out of this.
Clarence Brooks, and
Clarence.
my archetype is Grease Monkey, and my occupation
Hmm.
is mechanic.
Mm,
oh, actually,
regular blue collared guy.
no. I need to get Margaret out there because I'm a DD. You see what I'm saying? Dorothy Daisy. That's just my alias. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't want to play with Neal anymore.
And it's to win it, baby.
Yeah,
You gotta have faith, brother.
I'll be right back here, fellas.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Amber, do you got what is your character life like? Because you're my significant person, so I gotta try and plot off of this.
Dale Cooper, agency detective from Twin Peaks.
All right.
I mean, it was a pre-made one, so.
That's pretty good, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could roll with it. Or what was your character's first name again?
Dale.
Dale.
You can call me Coop.
Gotcha.
Need to do phobias and manias and stuff.
Well, Cody's gone. Are we doing phobias and manias, guys? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think those happen just as we play, yeah. But I think we also have done it previously where we started with some.
I think I only played this once, and it was a really long time ago. And I don't remember how that started. It was one Cody wrote, and we only played, I think, one day.
There's 30 slang on chapter 8, page 100.
Oh shit! Yeah.
This adventure's all wet. Now I'm beat.
I'm upset nobody's occupied as a hooker.
I'm a cult leader.
Oh, that's.
You're always.
I'm not surprised. Is anybody surprised? I'm not.
See,
If anybody could be, it would be Robert.
So you're an agent for Twin Peaks, right? Right, Amber? That was.
I mean, he's an FBI agent in the show, so basically, but stationed in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
I mean, the reason why maybe you feel guilty is that you are the reason I went into. Maybe you're Bob. I don't know if you ever watched the show.
Mm-hmm. No, I see what you're saying.
So maybe you're the reason I went insane in the
a hobo.
Black Lodge. Yeah. Because he does go in, save somebody, and comes out possessed.
Watching.
The show came out in the 90s. If you didn't watch it,
Didn't they reboot it too? They rebooted it on Netflix too, right?
Yeah, they did like a 20 years later, one season, but we haven't watched that.
So I'm thinking either I go cult leader or I go hobo with a shotgun.
Oh, you got a hobo shotgun net. See,
Well,
you're allowed
hard
to have
choice.
nitros too, so you're just like out there crazy as batshit.
Right.
Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
All right, batshit crazy.
Yeah. This is mature content.
Oh,
Only if
okay.
you say it in another language.
Oh my.
Suggested traits. Where do I put my traits?
Sure. It's Chris there. Oh, Amber, Sean, Amber.
Hi.
Couldn't tell by the beard that he's really into Chris.
Last time I thought
Beard
this
is
didn't
much
have
better
a
than
beard.
his. Don't equivalent. My beard is much better than his.
Tell me, I don't think he really had much facial hair. It's been a
because
long
he can't
time.
grow a beard. He's a bald-faced baby.
Oh, big.
Hashtag bald-faced baby. For those watching at home.
Hashtag.
tweet along with the show.
3d6 multiplied by 5. Holy shit. This game likes numbers.
I know what I'm.
Oh, wait a second. 13 times 5. Six times.
Shawn, what's your character?
My character is a grease monkey mechanic named
Oh.
Kynes Brooks. I'm 35 years old. Like long walks on the beach. And I'm aggressive.
You're
Be
what?
aggressive. Be aggressive.
Mm.
Holy Moses.
Holy halibut.
Robert, which one did you end up going with, bud?
What's that?
Which one did you go with?
I'm still debating between the cult leader or the hobo. All the other qualities are going to be exactly the same, but I feel like sometimes a cult leader and a hobo they ride a fine line, so there might be some
What's the real
crossover.
difference between
Hey,
a cult
can't
leader
it
and a
just
hobo?
be? Can't they just be one and the same? Hobo with a shotgun becomes cult leader.
Good idea, Amber. I am a cult leader of hobos.
There you go.
I want the world to just be aimless hobos.
He is the hobo.
It's a lifestyle. Right. Amber, you just solved my conundrum.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
We want a shotgun with every hobo.
That's policy I can get behind.
Just give me a little refresher.
So
You
percent.
typically roll these.
Yeah. 6 percentile roll. See what it
14 times 5. Man, it's real feast or famine over here.
To the number or below?
Okay. So.
Yeah. And then there's these admins, so.
He is a very smart, strong, but not fast.
If it says, if you're shooting your gun, it says extreme roll. 1/5, so you go over here, bottom, says 14.
Should roll below.
Yeah. If it's a forward, then it's.
Add 100 bonus points divided among any of the following. Uh-oh. Charm. Age between 15 and 90. $33.
Yeah, we got a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'm 35. I think Neal's 32.
Yeah.
All right, well then I'm rolling again. Screw that. 92. I'm 92. Is that? Oh, it's got to be between. Is 92 too
Yeah.
old to be a hobo?
I guess.
92.
I rolled 100 for my first random roll, and
All
that
right,
was
57.
There you go. That's not
There you
bad.
go. That's a good hobo number.
I think we're reasonable.
Well, I rolled 33, and then everybody else was in the 30s, and I was like, I don't want to be like my age.
I'm 45, so I think you being a bit older makes sense.
Okay. Plus, I'm a hobo. I'm world worn, right? So I got to be a little older. I've seen
You
some
may look
shit.
older than you really are from
Right.
being,
He's
so
actually 24
weathered.
years old.
Right. I look like I'm 80, but I'm really 57.
Yeah. You're just deceptively strong for what you actually look like. You could
I
be.
got that old man strength. Okay, sex, yes, please. I'm gonna just stick with male. Other attributes.
Half tempted to fighting with Rot.
Roll
Is it with a
2d6
garage?
plus 6.
A Rot?
A garage.
Ooh, 10 plus 6 is 16 times 15.
I mean, sure. Bases? You got a lot of cars in there?
Hmm.
Sanity points equal to POW. Hit points, con and size divided by 5. Plus 65 divided by 5. Oh, 18. Not very strong. Don't know. Glass cannon.
Well, fuck. Treasured possession is going to be a whip that's been passed down in my family.
Sure.
You're a dominatrix. Let's just get this straight.
It's official.
Cody, where's the tactical vest?
You told me to go with the George R. R. Martin thing, so I put
Yeah, I
on
know,
a
but now I want the
sweater.
tactical vest.
Well, you can't have everything you want, Sean.
Just put the tactical vest over the George R. R. Martin sweater.
No.
But what if you want to be tactical George R. R. Martin?
Black Ops George R. R. Martin.
Black Ops. Oh, nice.
Just picture him do like a combat roll into the room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here to write about medieval fiction.
Just as an example.
Now, somebody's supposed to remind me not to
What
use
is
the
the
same
dice?
dice as yesterday.
I don't know what dice you were using yesterday.
I just wish I could use some dice that Cody bought me.
Aw.
It's your own fault.
Aw.
No, it's your fault.
Be more loved.
It's your fault, and it's Sean's fault.
It's Chris's fault.
It's
Aw.
Chris's
Chris and Neal
fault.
are at fault.
I think it's even Proper's fault.
I did the last time we played this too.
I kind of want to just throw an 8 85 into.
Hey, Cody, how do bonus dice work again?
Bonus dice would be like when something's like advantageous, you'd get to roll an extra 10.
Do you add it, or do you use the better of the two die?
I think you would use the better of the two. But I will get you an answer.
I've got a couple of my, what are they, talents that give me a bonus die, but I have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I know like in the example in the book, it's like like somebody's like sneaking through a warehouse, and because it's dark in the warehouse, they get a bonus to their sneak, and then the person that's trying to find them can't really see in the dark, like the dark building, so they get they basically get a penalty die, So I would imagine that the bonus would let you subtract because you're trying to get under, and then the penalty would be in addition to.
Mm.
I think
That
I
makes sense.
allocate all of my skill.
But I will confirm that.
My whip.
You got like some Indiana Jones whipping going on.
Whip it good.
Yeah, I decided,
Sure.
if I'm going into a treasured possession, this whip has been passed down from generation to generation.
Dorothy Devo Daisy.
Oh, Daisy Div.
Dorothy Daisy.
Old man tooth.
Yeah, you gotta have faith. That's just the line Dorothy Daisy says when people are like, "Why are you driving so?"
Oh, you get to choose your talents from.
Oh, Cody, are we starting with any phobias?
You're all afraid of everything. No, because it's Pulp Cthulhu, so you don't have to like. I'm gonna say if you guys want a phobia, you can take one. But you guys would have good mental health. Pulp Cthulhu is you're supposed to be a little bit like your investigator's supposed to be a little hardier, a little tougher. You're supposed to be able to do a little bit more against the mythos in Pulp Cthulhu.
I should have learned more of this slang.
And the bonus die and the penalty die works like I said. Either it affects you positively or negatively, depending on what you're trying to accomplish.
The first number, not the second.
Say that again, please.
It's the first number, right? So if I rolled a 55, then I rolled a 3 on the bonus dice, it would actually be a 35, right?
Yeah.
Now, Cody, if I was looking for weapon information, where would I look?
Just keep going.
It should be, I think, in the back of the player's handbook. There's like a whole section on firearms.
Perfect.
There's like a whole section on firearms and like prices of goods and stuff like that in the 30s.
256.
256.
All right, that's gonna take a lot of one.
Ooh.
Control F it, man.
Just yeah.
You Dewey Decimal Dorothy Dippledopoulos.
I apologize to all who had to experience
Dippledopoulos.
Yeah. Frank, you missed it last night. We were eating chips on live air.
You 4 viewers.
Yeah.
I'd like to reach out to all of you right now. Viewers, so sorry.
You can make it stop by donating to Extra Life.
Make sure you leave
We'll
a
no
note.
longer eat chips on air. Or just sneeze into the microphone while we're streaming.
No, I can't promise that. Sneezes are uncontrollable.
No promises. But if you donate now, you get a discount code for Steve's OnlyFans. Watch a little furry man get attacked.
Damn.
Oh, you could get an animal companion.
Yes.
Steven is not an animal companion. I've tried to classify him as that, but it didn't work.
It should. I'm almost thinking about trading everything out for a war boomerang.
You're just some getaway driver who.
You're like the little kid from Mad Max 2 who like has that.
Yeah. Either that or a stick of dynamite.
Look at that. Dynamite might work.
Yeah, dynamite's pretty cheap and readily available in the 30s.
And if they're chasing you down and they're in a vehicle, like you just Terminator 1 that shit. And just
Nah, I'm gonna electric whip my way out of this.
Yeah, you're never gonna stop.
Yeah. I'm Cody, I would like to akimbo whips.
Sure. Allowed.
Thank you.
Granted. But you have to put it in your backstory that you are the forerunner for interpretive dance with the ribbons.
That's my day job.
Yeah, all right.
That's how I.
But at night, you're the electric whip.
Yes. Full whip.